In the current scenario, most of our education policies have not been prepared with the child at the center. It is the system, the subject oriented system, which is at the center. In this video, parents give some suggestions for making the system more child centric.
10 साल पहले हमारा लिटरेसी रेट काफ़ी कम था। तो सबसे पहले जो प्राइमरी क्वेश्चन था इंडिया के सामने, लिटरेसी रेट बढ़ाना। इसलिए हमने जितना हो सके उतने नंबर में लोगों को बड़े पैमाने में स्कूल में इनरोल किया, उन्हें बेसिक एजुकेशन दिया और आज हमारा लिटरेसी रेट 74% तक चला गया है। इवन इन यूथ विच आर 15 to 24 ऑफ एज, हमारा लिटरेसी रेट 92% है, विच इज़ वेरी हाई। जैसे आप अगर सीए कर रहे हो तो आपको आर्टिकलशिप करनी होती है, आप अगर डॉक्टर कर रहे हो तो आपको इंटर्नशिप करनी होती है। बट ये प्रोफेशनल कोर्सेस में ही क्यों? इंडिया ये कृषि प्रधान राष्ट्र है, बट आज जो पढ़े लिखे नौजवान हैं उन्हें खेती करना या फार्मिंग करना कहा तो वो नहीं कहते हैं। इसके लिए यहाँ पे स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने इंटरवेंशन करना चाहिए। स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने रीजन वाइज जहाँ पे जो प्राइमरी इनकम सोर्स ऑफ इनकम है, जैसे ये कुछ जगह पे अगर फार्मिंग मेन सोर्स ऑफ इनकम है, वहाँ पे वोकेशनल ट्रेनिंग 8वीं कक्षा से ही फार्मिंग का या खेती का देना चाहिए। कुछ अगर और सोर्स ऑफ इनकम होगा तो वहाँ पे वो स्कूल में वो वोकेशनल ट्रेनिंग देना चाहिए। इससे अच्छी बात तो ये होगी कि ड्रॉप आउट रेशो कम हो जाएगा। पेरेंट्स को अगर चिल्ड्रन उनके बिजनेस में, उनके काम में अगर मदद करें तो किसको अच्छा नहीं लगेगा। और ये सारी चीज़ें, लेट्स सपोज उनको अगर स्कूल में पढ़ाया जाए कि टेक्नोलॉजिकल फार्मिंग कैसे करता है और वो घर पे आके उसका अनुकरण करे और वैसे टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ करके फार्मिंग करे, कोई भी माँ बाप उसके बच्चे को स्कूल जाने से रोकेगा नहीं, बल्कि स्कूल में भेजेगा। स्कूल में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अटेंडेंस लगाने को कहेगा।
Some level of vocational understanding, some level of vocational training needs to be brought in at a lower level in order to help students gain the confidence of moving into a profession which is not just a doctor, lawyer, engineer, a standard run-of-the-mill profession which used to be there for the past 15-20 years. This needs to change. This needs some amendment into the educational policies of how things are evaluated, how things are looked into, how the colleges and school needs to be nurtured. Thank you.
In today's scenario, when as adults we are using all types of technology for our co-works, our kids are still in the process of becoming weightlifters. School bags are so heavy that ultimately they are deforming their bones. Plus, their posture is also hampered through that. 3 such suggestions for that, burden of the school bags can come down. Firstly, each book should be split into different chapters and each chapter has a separate booklet for it, so that helps the child to carry only an ongoing chapter that is happening at a particular time and not to carry the whole book. Secondly, when a permission is given by the government for the school, there should be a mandatory clause in that to provide the locker facilities to children. That can be provided through a separate room, or I think in the desk only, in the respective desk of the children, they can have lockers in the desk. And this thing also should be applied to the existing schools. Thirdly, I feel there are 2 to 3 notebooks of one single subject. As suppose for Hindi and English, there is Hindi literature and Hindi that language also, and English literature and English language also. I think one single notebook is sufficient for both the subjects. There should be one single notebook for homework and classwork. No separate notebooks are useful for children. There are certain subjects that are practical oriented, such as computers. I don't think there is any theoretical notebook needed to be that. And music subjects also. Only one notebook can be used for all practical subjects. That can reduce the wastage of paper also and the burden of the school bags also. All the guidelines that are given by the government, they are only applied for the aided schools. Government should give this mandatory direction to all the schools, whether it's a government school or it's to the private school, because it's ultimately affecting the health of our own child, whether it studies in the government or it's in the studies in the private school.
Yeah, I have a daughter who is 7.5 years old. She goes to second grade in a government school. We don't pay any fees for the school. It is a state funded school, and due to the budget cuts that we had in California a few years back, the schools took a hit, and some of the programs got cut, which were extracurriculars, helped in the overall development of a kid, like music, art, some of the clubs like chess club, book club, uh, t- um, electrical, electronics, and so many other things. My daughter's school has a very active PTA, which is Parent Teacher Association. So every year we pay a donation at the beginning of the year, a one-time donation to the school, and all these funds collected are used for technology upgrade for all the classes. They're have used even to bring back some of the classes like music class, art class. We do a lot of fundraising to help raise more funds to help the school better improve the way they educate the kids. It's just that money that as parents we donate. We even donate a lot of time. Last year alone, the parents from my daughter's school donated almost 10,000 hours of time, and we do this by volunteering in school, in class, out of class, doing field trips, and so many other ways that we can help. It's like having an extra pair of hands for teachers. It helps them do more activities, to be more on kids, do more things.
The other day in the radio, I was listening to a program. The program was for some of the doctors and what hobbies could they have. It was alarming to see that there were doctors who could mime, who could sing, who could do arts, which brings me to think whether if these doctors were not doctors, could they really be musicians or artists or mimics and could earn their living and be prosperous?
Integrating arts, music, and hands on learning methods into the mainstream will enable all children to achieve his or her fullest potential.
So these are the allied kind of activities which the current education system is not able to provide. The vocational part, the actually industrial training or giving opportunities for these small hobbies. During our schooling, we used to have SUPW, but then that SUPW never culminated into a full-term course or was broken down into various parts of culture, arts, architecture, and taken into various other subjects. It was never prospering that way. This is something which is missing in the current system. The other side of the coin is also that how do you evaluate such subjects? Even if the education is introduced for these subjects, can the existing B.Ed or M.Ed which is being looked into as teaching be sufficiently armed to evaluate? We know that education is the one which actually creates the society. But then is this education or the education policies being armed well in order to give this system the perfect education system?
To view our other feedback videos for the new education policy of India, please visit our YouTube channel Rethink India Edu and our Facebook page.